Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to get into the weekly love outlook for Aquarius. And those of you who are new to my channel, the weekly love outlooks are a look into a relationship that you have with someone. A connection, could be an old connection, new connection, current connection, whatever the case is. We're going to take a look. For those of you who are regulars, thank you so much for sticking with me through these last few weeks. It's been difficult, right, for everybody. But thank you. I'm going to try to keep uploading as much as I can. And hence, we are back with the weekly readings. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for checking me out. All right, Aquarius, let's see what the spirits of darkness, of light, and light have to say about this connection this week. And then we'll get into your traditional reading with the traditional Rider-Waite deck. All right, we have Spirit of the Fox, Cunning, Spirit of Envy, Discontent, Resentful, Miserable, Enviness, Spirit of the Sun. So we have a little combination of darkness and light, right? Spirit of the Sun, of course, beautiful energy, right? We're talking about vitality, growth, resurrection, understanding coming in. Spirit of Envy, look at this card. I love this card just for the imagery, right? Green with envy. Somebody is pissed. Somebody's not happy. There's a lot of discontent being sown somewhere, right? Resentful. And then we have Spirit of the Fox, of course, talking about strategy, cunning, you know, slyness, intelligence, right? I mean, we associate that with Fox energy anyway. And oracle decks are interesting because they can be very different. This is not an animal oracle deck. So when we're talking about Spirit of the Fox from this deck, right, that I'm using of darkness and light, we're talking about specifically the energy of the fox of planning, strategizing, maybe even scheming. You know what I mean? Really depends on where that energy is coming from. So let's get right into your spread, Aquarius. Let's see what's going on with you and your person this week. We're going to see how you guys are resonating with each other, how you see each other, your desires. Pull out cards for them and for you. Show me what's going on for Aquarius. This reading, of course, is over the next 7 days, up until next Sunday, Monday time. All right? So show me. Show me Aquarius and their person. And again, it's just a 7-day snapshot, so it's not indicative of any kind of, you know, prognosis for the relationship or anything. We're just talking about how it's feeling this week, right? All right, guys, here we go. Your person is resonating with chariot energies, coming out a lot this week. Six of Pentacles is how you're coming in. How they see you is a Four of Swords. There's your strategy, and how do you see them as a Two of Swords? They desire a Two of Wands, and you desire justice, balance, karma, rebalancing, certainly. And what needs to happen? Three of Swords for them, wow. And for you, Queen of Cups. So bottom of the deck, we have the Fool. Something very new happening. Somebody is about to really enter into a whole new stage of understanding. The Fool is the one, right? He's the one that, he represents the Querent. In tarot, we call the person that we're reading for the Querent. So for the Aquarius out there that is resonating with this reading, you are the Querent. And the Querent is always represented by the Fool anyway. In a lot of ways, because the Fool is us, always going up and down the tree of life, going from one stage to the next, descending back down, going back up. You know, a lot of us believe that once we learn a certain lesson at a certain stage, right, then that stage is mastered. That's not true at all. That's just one lesson in that stage. Right? And so going up and down the tree of life, the various Ziphera on the tree of life correspond to different points. The past corresponds to different stages and points in our lives and journeys. And so we go up and down, we go up and down. We may come back to the same spot and learn different lessons in that, different nuances. Life is so infinite, and there is so much to learn that don't believe for 1 second that because you have perhaps mastered or learned some experience in one area that you cannot once again be the Fool, the student in that area all over again, and just relearn that lesson deeper, more nuanced, and more specific. So let's get right into it. Aquarius, well, This is interesting. The chariot is showing up for you. The chariot showed up a lot for the readings this week, and the chariot is all about preparing the way. Preparing the way for the next stage in your life. Why? Why is that? Because we go down a certain path in life, we go down a certain road in life, and our success, our chances for success, our chances for arriving where we wanted to arrive, a lot of that has to do with the planning. A lot of that has to do with the effort that we put in before we even engage on that path. And the chariot talks about that. Right? The chariot talks about that. It's that energy right before we get started, right before the chariot moves. And what does the chariot do? The chariot's generally associated with two wheels, right? So that means they kind of go down the track they're on. They go down the path that is set before them. They don't necessarily change or adjust or veer any differently by their own design, right? Because they don't have a directional wheel, right? They don't change direction. This is why it is a chariot, right? This is why we look at it as a chariot. It's not just because it's a vehicle, but because a chariot generally will follow the path that is set before. And this is what's very important here. Now, your person is resonating with this energy, which means this is what they're busy with this week. They are busy with working on preparing the next stage of this path in their life, wherever that is leading them. It's someplace very, very important. And for you, you're coming in Six of Pentacles. So this week is a week of heavy sort of charitable work. You may be doing work in the community. You may be doing work supporting somebody financially. You may be a benefactor. Six of Pentacles is very much like that energy of giving your time, giving of your energy, but also really giving in a very tangible way, giving money, giving support, right? Because you have it. 6 is the number for harmony. So here we're talking about finding that harmony in the level of what we have and how much comfort we would like to have and how much comfort we seek to provide others. Because in all areas of life, including the material area, we seek to have comfort. Remember also that Pentacles does rule the body, the human body, and health. So sometimes Six of Pentacles can indicate wanting to help somebody through a period of ill health, wanting to help them or support them through a period of ill health. And so for some of you Aquarius, this is what you are focusing on this week. If you are resonating with this reading, of course, right? Now, how do you guys see each other? 4 of Swords and 2 of Swords. So 4 of Swords and 2 of Swords. 4 of Swords is that strategy, right? When we look at the spirit of the fox, this is how they see you, right? They see you as someone who's very strategic and cunning. 4 of Swords is about that sort of that mindset we have where we're willing to sort of retreat to our corner and rethink our position or our strategy because we've already achieved a certain level of stability. We don't want to lose that. We don't want to lose what we've worked for so far. And so we want to take a moment, a respite, to think and plan because because it's the wise thing to do. And it's the wisest way to maintain what we have worked for so far. They see you as this. So they see you as being very reserved, very careful, very cautious, right? And thinking, strategizing. Now you see them as a 2 of Swords, more Swords energy. You're seeing them in a very vague position. 2 of Swords is Moon in Libra. It's interesting because it's vague in as much as they need to make a decision and it seems as though they're unwilling or unable rather to make it. They can't seem to make a decision. 2 of Swords is the card, a lot of people call it the land of indecision. And this is how you're seeing them. So there's some kind of issue coming up here with regard to somebody's ability to decide which way they want to go with you, perhaps. Right? They're seeing you, but they're seeing you as being very reserved, pulling back. Maybe you are pulling back. Maybe you're pulling back and you're reserving your opinion and your next move because they haven't made this decision. Because you looking at them, you seeing them, Aquarius, as a 2 of Swords means you're very focused on a very specific thing, which is them deciding which way to go. And 2 of Swords is all about balance. Sometimes what happens with 2 of Swords energy is that the person who feels this energy does feel as though they're being pushed to make a decision that they're not ready to make. It can turn into resentment. It can turn into resentment, right? Because sometimes when I pull a Two of Swords card for someone and I'm reading for that person and this is how they're feeling, I will let them, you know, depending on the vibe, a lot of times Two of Swords indicates finding a balance for yourself, especially when you feel like somebody's forcing you into a difficult decision, which can make you feel very sort of angry, resentful, you know, unwilling to make the decision, right? So find a balance for yourself, right? You don't always have to choose between two. You can make a third way. But here in this case, Aquarius, you're the one who sees them as resonating with this energy. And it could very well be that it is something about you that is forcing them to sort of feel like they're, or making them feel like they're being forced into a decision, right? And so resentment may be showing up as a result. What's your desires? Two of Wands and Justice. Well, they desire to be able to move forward. Two of Wands energy is Mars and Aries. So they really want to move forward. They really want to take the next step. And again, it's like they are moving. They're on a chariot mission, right? So this is interesting. You're seeing them as being unable to make a decision, but yet they know what they want. It could be that they're just not telling you, right? It could be that they're just not telling you, or it could be that the options you're giving them are not options that they're willing to take, right? So they're coming across as being wishy-washy here and unable to move, when in actuality their passion is all ready to go, raring to go. Now your desire is justice, right? You desire balance and harmony. I think the other thing is you might be dealing with somebody who's just really immovable when it comes to you. Now what do I mean by that? I mean that sometimes you're in a relationship with somebody who they seem to move for everything else, but they will not move for you, right? They seem to move for other people. They seem to move for themselves. They seem to move and have the energy to make decisions in other areas of their life. But whenever, and especially, and then we're talking about relationship here, right? And if you're having a relationship with someone like this, right? But when you're the one who sort of is asking them to make a decision, or you are requiring something of them, they suddenly become cement legs. They suddenly can't make the move that you want them to make, or they suddenly become wishy-washy, or or passive aggressive about it. And a lot of times what this is it's a resentment that can come in when you're in a relationship with somebody who just doesn't like to feel as though you are in any kind of control. And so sometimes when you're asking them simply to step to the plate and show some sort of responsibility, or let you know where they want to go or what they want to do, rather than just responding to that in a healthy way, they simply take that as some kind of they take offense to it, right? They take offense to it, and they take it as some kind of attempt at telling them what to do, or forcing them in the corner, forcing them in a tight spot. It's a really messed up way to look at it, and it definitely comes from a point of view of someone who is just not comfortable in their own selves to just be confident and be in charge. But this kind of energy, it's a very specific energy, Aquarius. And if you're resonating with this, you'll know what I'm talking about. And so when I get back to the Justice card in terms of what you're desiring, it's like you're desiring in this relationship some kind of balance here, right? And like I said, it feels like there's no balance. Like, yes, okay, if you could just get the balance of this person sort of responding like this, Two of Wands, raring to go, raring to make a decision when it comes to you, right? Then that would be great, but it doesn't seem to feel like that. And so things are out of balance. And of course, that's what an injustice is, really. Injustice is really a situation that is out of balance, right? Now, you wouldn't say there's an injustice happening in my relationship, right? But the two are really, they are the same thing, right? They come from the same place. And Justice is the card for Libra. Chariot is the card for Cancer. Okay, and that doesn't mean anything per se, but I'm just saying that here, you may be finding these kind of energies, Libran energies at play here. You may have Libran energies in your particular chart, Aquarius. Whatever the case is, this Justice card is what you're desiring. And with this Two of Swords here, this inability for them to make a decision. And again, Justice here. Now when we go ahead, we have a Three of Swords here. Why is there a decision that needs to be made in the first place? Why does justice need to happen in balancing anyway? There is something specific here that has happened, right? And I think that this Two of Swords, yes, while they are unable and unwilling, this decision or this stepping to the plate here is coming out of something that has occurred between the two of you. And they are raring to sort of blow past it, I think, with this Two of Wands. They just want to go past it, right? But you don't. You want the balance, you want the harmony, you want the justice, you want it to be fixed. Now, I say that because what needs to happen, Three of Swords comes in and lets me know that for them what needs to happen is they need to feel the betrayal. There was a betrayal here somewhere along the line. Something happened somewhere along the line, and this is why I say that. And this is why this decision and this wishy-washiness of you seeing them, you seeing their inability to make a decision, and also this resentment coming in. And I want to say discontent also because you're desiring justice and maybe you're not getting that love from them. It's coming on the heels of this betrayal that has happened somewhere along the line. So what needs to happen for them is they need to see that, feel that, and understand that. They can't blow past it with that Two of Wands until they address it. Three of Swords is a betrayal. It's a betrayal. It's a blow to the heart, to the ego. Remember, it's a Swords card and not a Cup card. So this betrayal could be anything. A lot of times it's oversimplified. You have readers always saying, oh, third party, third party. It's like they parrot. It's like, third party. It's not always third party. Three of Swords is not a Cup card. It's a Swords card. So when we're talking about Three of Swords, we're talking about breaking that loyalty, trust, and bond that you have with somebody. That can come in a lot of ways. That can come in an abusive relationship. That can come in a relationship where someone betrays you for their work or their job or their family. Betrayal comes in many forms, and it isn't always just that, arcane, simplified, somebody's cheating on you with somebody else's energy. So whatever that betrayal is here, whatever way they hurt you, they need to feel that. What needs to happen for you is Queen of Cups. And for you, you really need to feel confident that your cup of love is going to the right person. You need to feel able to express yourself and your feelings and your sensitivity and everything. That's what Queen of Cups is about. She is water of water, and she expresses herself as such, right? And she needs someone who is able and strong enough, able enough to allow her to express this, because in exchange, she will also allow you to go as deeply as you can too. And this is why her cup of love is so special. But it also requires somebody very, very special to sort of, for her to give it to. Feels to me, I'm going to get some clarifiers. Aquarius, this feels to me like a relationship that had a hiccup somewhere along the line, a betrayal of some sorts, and you want your person to step to that plate and really answer to that. And this week, a lot of this is coming out. And you're going to need to talk about it. Let them know what's going on, how you feel. Because the one thing about the Queen of Cups is that she is very open about her feelings. Her heart is on her sleeve. The Queen of Cups, of all these court cards in the deck, wears her heart on her sleeve firmly, guys. So that's what needs to happen. You need to be wearing your heart on your sleeve in the sense that you are very open and honest about how you feel. And if you're the one that's hurt, which I do believe it is, because they're the one who needs to feel that betrayal, you need to let them know. Show me what's going on with Aquarius here in this connection. Show me. No wonder you've pulled away, and they feel you pulling away, because you're just not going to be satisfied until you get what you need to get from them. Whether that is an apology or whatever it is, a reconciliation, or just answering to their responsibility in this, or what have you, we shall see. Three of Wands, there we go. Eight of Cups, uh-oh, and a High Priest. Wow. Commitment. So there was an issue with commitment here. Yeah, I'm going to say there was an issue with commitment here, and there may have indeed been third-party energy. There may have indeed been somebody else in your relationship. Why do I say that? Because Three of Wands. Three of Wands, Eight of Cups. Message coming in, and the High Priest. Well, the High Priest is the same as the Hierophant in this deck. So the Hierophant talks about commitment, right? Under the eyes of God, your God, whatever that God is. And oftentimes in relationships, we're talking about that, right? Commitment to the relationship. Somewhere along the line that was broken. Eight of Cups also is realizing that some relationships, Eight of Cups is putting boundaries in place with relationships that you have put way too much energy in, and you are not getting the same level of energy back, right? It's like pouring liquid gold into a chipped tin cup, right? You're pouring in liquid gold, but their cup is just cheap. It's flimsy. It's been neglected, and you realize it's time to really turn your back on these type of connections and ascend and really look towards relationships that are deeper and really fulfill you. Three of Wands is hurry up and wait, patience, right? So here we're talking about that patience of waiting for a sign to come in, waiting for something to let you know your next move. And I think this is coming in for you also, Aquarius, because right now you're being very, very cautious and careful because you don't really know what your next move is. I don't think you are like absolutely ready to sort of give up on this individual or this relationship or anything like that, but this issue really has to be dealt with, right? And yeah, Eight of Cups, boundaries also, like they better watch out, because if they don't step to this plate by really sort of acknowledging what they've done and really answering to it instead of wanting to blow over it with this Two of Wands, man, you may just indeed turn your back. This is about commitment. This is about putting the work in, and you're really trying to wait and see for a good sign. But you've definitely pulled back, and I would say keep pulling back. Stay reserved until they can come to the plate. Yet at the same time, remember, do wear your heart on your sleeve. Do let them know how you feel. Don't make it a secret. Don't try to make it some kind of surprise or they have to guess, right? Let them know how you feel, and then see how they respond. All right, Aquarius, I'm going to leave it at that. This is your reading, your relationship outlook for this coming up 6 days, next 6 days. If you enjoyed it, if it gave you some kind of clarity, please like and subscribe to my channel, share the video. All of that really helps me, because this is what I do for a living, just this YouTube channel. And everything else I do, other side projects in the community, but that is all my volunteer time that I do. This channel is what I live on, and all of your support really helps me. So I love you guys so much. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and most of all, stay kind to each other, Aquarius. And I shall see you next week at your next weekly outlook. Bye-bye, guys.